Join Kids Hat family. What happened? Why can't you sleep?
I don't know. Can you please put me off to sleep by telling me a story?
Sure, Tofu. I'll tell you one of my favorite story. The Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood lived in a hut near a forest with her mother. She always wore a beautiful red hood while going out. One day, she went to see her grandmother. On her way, she met a wolf.
Hello, where are you going?
I am going to see my granny. She lives behind that hill.
The wolf got a wicked idea. The wolf ran to Granny's house and ate her up and got into Granny's bed. After some time, Little Red Riding Hood reached the house. She saw the wolf lying in her granny's bed.
Oh, Granny, what big eyes you have!
So that I can see you better.
Granny, what big ears you have!
So that I can hear you better.
Granny, what a big nose you have!
So that I can smell you better.
Oh, Granny, what big teeth you have!
So that I can eat you better.
Oh my God! Help me! Help me!
Nearby, a woodcutter was in the forest and he heard the scream. He ran to the house just to see the wolf attacking the little girl. He hit the wolf over the head, and this made the wolf open his mouth and shout. The granny jumped out. The wolf ran away, and the Little Red Riding Hood never saw the wolf again. So Tofu, Little Red Riding Hood, was able to save herself and her old grandmother too. What are you doing, Tofu?
I'm trying to water the plants, but this hose is broken.
Come, let me tell you a short story. The Clever Crow. The Clever Crow. One hot day, a thirsty crow flew all over the fields looking for water. For a long time, he could not find any water. Suddenly, he saw a water jug below the tree. He flew straight down to see if there was any water inside. Yes, he could see some water inside the jug. The crow tried to push his head into the jug. Sadly, he found that the neck of the jug was too narrow.
What should I do? I am really thirsty. How do I drink water?
Then he tried to push the jug to tilt for the water to flow out, but the jug was too heavy. He looked around and saw some pebbles. He suddenly had a good idea. He started picking up the pebbles one by one, dropping each into the jug. As more and more pebbles filled the jug, the water level kept rising. Soon, it was high enough for the crow to drink. His plan had worked. So, like the clever crow was able to find a solution to the problem by thinking and working hard, would you be able to find one to this too?
Thanks, Tia. Why is that young man helping that man to cross the road?
That's because he's blind and needs help to cross the road.
Oh, how nice of that man to help him.
Yes, it's always good to help others.
Why, Tia?
Come, Tofu, and I'll tell you a story. The Dove and the Ant. One hot day, an ant was walking near a river bank. The poor ant lost its balance and fell inside the water.
Help me! Please help me! Help me!
She screamed for help. As the flow of the river was too strong, she was carried away.
Someone please help me! Help me! Please! Someone help me! Help me, please! Someone help me! Please help me!
A dove was watching all this from a nearby tree. The ant was struggling for life in the water. The dove felt very sad for the little ant.
Help me! Please help me! Oh no! The little ant is in trouble!
And he decided to help her.
Help me! Please help me!
He said to the ant,
Don't worry, my friend. I will save you.
The dove quickly plucked off a leaf and dropped it into the water near the struggling ant. The ant moved towards the leaf and climbed up there, and the ant reached to the shore safely. The thankful ant said,
I will always be grateful to you for saving my life.
Few weeks later, the ant saw a bad hunter with a gun. The hunter was targeting at the dove sitting on the tree. Guessing what he was about to do, the ant quickly bit him on the heel.
Ouch! You pathetic ant! What have you done?
The ant walked away happily as she was able to help the dove in return. So Tofu, just the way Dove's good deed helped him to get out of danger by the ant, similarly, every good deed we do for others will surely come back to us.
I will always help the needy.
That's like a good boy, Tofu.
You know, my friend John stays with his cousins. Yesterday, he came late to the class and the teacher scolded him a lot. John said his cousin brothers made him finish their course before they let him leave for school. He said they always trouble him and make him do a lot of housework.
Oh no, he must feel really bad.
John is a very nice boy. He doesn't disobey anyone. He's very nice to his cousin brothers despite the way they treat him.
That is very nice of him. We should always forgive people for their mistakes. Have you heard the story of Cinderella? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl called Cinderella. Cinderella's mother had died, and so her father had married another woman who had 2 daughters. One day, Cinderella's father went to work and never returned. Cinderella was left at the mercy of her stepmother and 2 stepsisters who made her do all the work of the house.
Cinderella, it's morning already. Where is our breakfast?
Just a moment, stepmother. I am just bringing it out.
As soon as Cinderella had laid the breakfast, the stepmother and stepsisters started eating it. Cinderella served her own plate too and was about to eat when her stepsister pushed her own plate away.
Yuck! I hate it.
Yes, now that you mention it, it really is horrible. Mother, do something.
Cinderella, are you trying to kill us? What kind of food is this?
But stepmother, I have made it the way I always make it.
How dare you argue with me? Go and make new breakfast for us. Don't you dare do anything else till we have had our breakfast.
And this is what went on in their house every day. The stepmother and stepsisters troubled Cinderella without any reason. But Cinderella loved them still and never ever complained. One day, an announcement was made in the village.
Let everybody know. There will be a royal ball at the palace tomorrow night, and the king's son, Prince Charming, will marry a maiden from amongst the guests. Everybody from the village is invited.
The whole village was excited. Even Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters couldn't stop talking about it in the house. And that is how Cinderella found out about the ball.
The royal ball! Prince Charming! The whole village is invited. I will finish my work quickly so we can all go together. Won't it be just wonderful?
You! Who said anything about you going? You will stay here and polish our shoes till you can see your face in them.
And so, with a heavy heart, Cinderella saw her stepmother and stepsisters dress up and leave for the royal ball the next day. Once they had left, she cried bitterly. Suddenly, her room lit up, and Cinderella saw the most beautiful fairy she could imagine. She held in her hand a delicate wand.
Who are you?
Get up, child. I am your fairy godmother. I am here to get you to the royal ball.
Really? I never knew I had a fairy godmother. But how will I get to the ball? I don't have anything to wear.
You don't worry about that, my child. And so, in just a few minutes, Cinderella was ready for the royal ball. As she thanked her fairy godmother and got aboard the chariot, she received a word of caution from the fairy godmother. Remember to be back home at 12, otherwise the spell will wear off. Soon Cinderella arrived at the palace. As she entered the great ballroom, everyone turned to look who this beautiful maiden was. Nobody could recognize her. Not even her own stepmother and stepsisters. Prince Charming walked to her.
May I have this dance with you?
Yes, Your Highness.
And so Cinderella and Prince Charming danced together throughout the evening. Till Cinderella heard the clock strike. Fairy godmother's words came back to her. She needed to get out of there before the clock struck 12. Without saying a word, she tore away from the prince's grasp and ran out of the palace. The prince ran after her. "Wait, wait! What is wrong? Why are you running? I don't even know your name." But Cinderella dared not wait or even look back. Her beautiful gown was already turning into rags again. Her hair was coming loose from the perfect bun that the fairy godmother had made for her. She didn't even stop when one of the glass slippers came off her foot and fell in the palace driveway. She ran out of the palace gates and vanished into the darkness on a path that led to her home. Once home, she went back to polishing the shoes that had been given to her and decided never to speak to anyone about the ball. A few days later, 2 men from the palace showed up at their door.
The lady that Prince Charming fell in love with left behind her glass slipper at the royal ball. The prince believes that such a beautiful slipper could fit only his beloved. And so we're asking all the girls in the village to try the slipper. The one whom it fits would be the one the prince will marry. If you have any girls in the house, please ask them to try the slipper.
"Oh, yes, yes. I am sure it was one of my daughters. The slipper would fit one of them." And so both the stepsisters tried to fit their foot into the slipper one by one. They pushed and pushed, but couldn't get their foot in.
Looks like it wasn't your daughter's after all. Is there any other young lady in the house?
"No, there isn't. You can leave." As the king's men made ready to leave, suddenly the door of the house was thrown open. And Prince Charming himself stood there.
Who is this beautiful girl in the upstairs window?
Madam, you have lied to us. I demand that the girl be called forth and try the slipper.
Yes, but she is only a servant girl. Nevertheless, Cinderella, come down here at once.
Yes, stepmother.
The moment Prince Charming saw Cinderella, he knew he had found his beloved. He took the slipper from the king's man and slipped it onto her foot himself. The slipper fit perfectly in a moment. Cinderella was once again transformed into the beautiful maiden from the night of the ball. Prince Charming took her to the palace with him.
He ordered that the stepmother and stepsisters be punished for lying to the king's men and treating Cinderella so badly and rudely.
But being the kind-hearted person that she was, Cinderella asked for them to be forgiven. The prince fell in love with her even more for her generosity, and they lived happily ever after.
Wow, Tia, how wonderful is it to forgive people? Thank you for telling me this story.
I will tell it to John too. I'm sure he will like it. Okay, shall we go home now? I think it's getting late.
Tia, I can't believe I lost my lucky charm. I've had it for years and now it's gone.
Oh no, Tofu. Don't worry. Sometimes things like this happen for a reason.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes we lose something important because it's time for us to let it go and move on to bigger and better things.
But how am I supposed to move on without my lucky charm?
Well, I have a story that might help. It's a story about a young prince who, like you, had lost something very dear to him.
What did he lose?
He lost his magic amulet, a gift from his late mother. The amulet had the power to grant him any wish he desired.
Wow, that sounds amazing. What happened to the prince?
The prince and his magical amulet. Well, the prince was heartbroken when he realized the amulet was gone. He searched high and low, but he could not find it. He began to lose hope and he became depressed and withdrawn. But one day, while walking through the forest, the prince came across a wise old owl. "Hello, young prince. Why do you look so sad?"
Oh, wise owl, I have lost my magic amulet and I do not know how I will ever be happy again.
Do not despair, young prince, for the amulet was not the source of your happiness. It was your own kindness, compassion, and pure heart that truly made you happy.
But how can I be happy without the amulet?
The amulet may have granted your wishes, but it was your own actions that brought joy to others. You can continue to spread happiness and kindness even without the amulet. The prince thought about the owl's words and realized he was right. He had always found joy in helping others, and he realized that he did not need the amulet to do so. So the prince set off on a journey to spread love and kindness throughout the kingdom. And as he traveled, he found that he was happier than he had ever been before. As he traveled, he encountered many people and animals in need of help. And with each kind act, the prince's heart grew fuller and happier. He helped an old man carry his heavy bags across the river. He saved a group of kittens from a burning barn. And he even taught a group of lost children how to find their way home. As the prince's reputation for kindness and compassion spread throughout the kingdom, more and more people and animals came to him for help. And the prince, with the help of his friends, was always there to lend a helping hand. But as much as the prince enjoyed helping others, he also missed his magic amulet. He often thought about where it might be and who might have it. One day, as the prince was walking through the forest, he heard a faint voice calling out to him.
"Prince, Prince, can you hear me?"
The prince followed the voice until he came upon a small enchanted pond. And there, floating on the surface, was his magic amulet.
"Prince, I am so glad you found me. I have been waiting for you."
Amulet, is it really you? I can't believe it.
"Yes, it is me, your magic amulet. I have been lost for so long, but I knew you would find me."
How did you get here?
"A group of mischievous sprites found me and played a trick on me. They hid me in this enchanted pond. But now that you have found me, I can return to you and grant your wishes once again."
Amulet, I don't need you to grant any of my wishes anymore. I have learned that happiness comes from within, and I can spread joy and kindness to others without the use of magic.
"Oh, Prince, You have truly grown and learnt the value of compassion. You no longer need me to grant your wishes, for you have the power to make your own happiness.
Thank you, Amulet. I will always cherish you, but I think it's time for you to return to the gods. They are the ones who truly possess the power of magic.
Very well, Prince. I will return to the gods, but know that I will always be with you in spirit, guiding and protecting you.
The prince thanked the amulet and sent it back to the gods. And as he continued his journey, he knew that he had the power to make his own happiness and the happiness of those around him.
Wow, Tia, this was a really good story.
I'm glad you liked it, Tofu. The moral of the story is that happiness comes from within, and we can all spread joy and kindness to others, no matter what we have or don't have.
I see what you mean, Tia. I think I can be happy even without my lucky charm.
I'm sure you can, Tofu. You have a kind and pure heart, just like the prince.
Thank you for telling me such a beautiful story, Tia. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hat family. Subscribe here.